Boom. What's good? What's happening, everyone? It's your boy, Ferris Muthana. And welcome to another great edition of The Open Table. We are back. We are back, baby. We are back better than ever. Lives have changed. Degrees have been gotten. Sleep has been messed up. And a whole lot of hard work behind the scenes. I am your host, Ferris Muthana. It is Casual Friday because let's get right into it. Let's get casual. Let's get a little comfortable. None of that suit stuff. You know what I mean? I'm a little free right now. I watch some Euros. Yeah. I watch some, bangers of soccer. I appreciate you guys joining me, but I'm not alone. I'm never alone on this journey with me. It is the one, it is the only. Adelia Chamberlain, back by popular demand. Adelia, how are you?
I'm doing good, Ferris. Glad to be back. I've missed doing this show with you on Friday nights.
I've missed doing it, but the last Fridays have been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I graduated, guys.
Yay!
I am a you know what? Hold on. That doesn't sound right, Ferris. That doesn't sound right. Ferris, what did you, Ferris? I graduated.
There we go.
Yes, I am the first person in my family to get a college degree. And I didn't just get one college degree. I got 3. Because you know what? Yeah. I'm a hoarder. You know what I mean? Shout out to that. So yeah, it was a long.
Congratulations, Ferris.
Thank you, Adelia. I appreciate you. It was a long journey. A journey I thought I wasn't going to be able to complete because, to be quite honest with you guys, man, that first semester in college, it was bad. It was pretty bad. I had a 0.43 GPA. I didn't even know you could get below 1 until I did it. I was kind of impressed by myself. I was kind of impressed.
That's not something you should be impressed about, though.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't. But I was still kind of like, okay. I didn't even think you had it in you to be this bad, but you did. So I hit rock bottom, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I can't do college. College ain't for me. I can't do it. It's not for me. But shout out my academic counselors, my scholarship counselor, Lynn. Shout out to Lynn Walker. She didn't give up on me. She didn't throw me to the trash. She stayed by my side and she helped me through it. Shout out to my mentor, Peter Brock. I'm a guy. He also didn't lament or waver in his support for me. My older brother, just while they were very supportive and very kind, he gave the tough love aspect of it. Like, come on, bro, what are we doing here? The tough love aspect, and you kind of need a balance of those, and it worked. And now I have a degree in broadcast and electronic communications from San Francisco State University, and I'm happy about it. Proud of my university, proud of my department, and there were speeches done at my other graduations. My Beckett one, that one I didn't do a speech on, but I did ad libs throughout the entire graduation. My graduation, was live streamed, so you can see me get my. I didn't get a diploma yet. Technically, like, I just walked the stage. It's pretty cool. I hugged the people who helped me. Found out I'm a hugger.
They send you your diplomas?
No, not yet. Yeah, they send them.
They're going to.
They're going to. Yeah. I think. What does a minor diploma look like?
I don't know. I've never seen one.
About to see one too. I have
a only college degree I have ever seen is my sister's, because I didn't graduate from college. Mm. But they did send it hers. So.
Yeah. I'm happy, man. I'm genuinely happy about it, man, because like the dream died. The dream died in 2017. I was like, yeah, this dream is over. But you gotta fight. You gotta fight for your dreams. And I was gonna do it, hook or by crook. I was gonna do it somehow, Yeah. And I did it, and I'm not gonna lie. I still get emotional thinking about it a little bit.
You should.
I did get emotional.
Tremendous accomplishment, Ferris.
Yeah. I did cry. Didn't cry. I got choked up. In one of my minor degrees, I got it in race and resistance studies in the ethnic studies department at our college. It's one of the most well-renowned ethnic studies department in the country, the first ever, actually, ethnic studies department in the country, where it's a department about, our stories told by us, not by a lens of the oppressor or the colonizer. It's us, our POV, what we went through, actually. And getting a minor degree from that department I'm pretty proud of that. And during that graduation, I got choked up. Talk about my dad and my brothers. My brothers cried. My dad cried, but he cried even though he didn't know what I was saying. But because he knows English, but not like that. So, which is good. But yeah, man, I'm happy.
You should be.
Yeah. What about you, Adelia?
I'm very proud of you, Ferris. Very proud of you.
Well, thank you.
I'm back. I just needed a break. I got severe burnout from doing all of this and my job and my family. And I just needed a break for a while because when I started thinking about coming on camera to do one of these shows, I had a panic attack. And that happened for about a month before I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I took a break, scaled back how much stuff I was doing on camera here at LGR. Doing much better now, though the thought of doing this every week did almost give me another panic attack a couple of days ago. So Ferris and I are going to announce a couple of changes to the show here in a little bit, just to make it a little easier for me. For those who don't know, and I don't know why you would, I have schizoaffective disorder. It's a very debilitating mental illness that's not fun. And a large component of that is anxiety. And my anxiety gets the best of me all the time, but it definitely got the best of me when the burnout hit and I just needed a break. So I took a break, but I'm very glad to be back. I'm glad to be here talking with Ferris and hanging out. And I'm going to keep talking now because he's still eating. Yeah, I missed hanging out with you guys on Friday nights. I missed a lot of the on-camera stuff. Yeah, you just chowing down there, Ferris.
That was bigger than I thought it would be. I thought it was gonna be I thought it was gonna be like a 1 bite, 2 bite. I was like 3 4 bites. That was big. So yeah.
But yeah, glad to be back.
Should we announce the changes or should we talk about other stuff?
Let's announce the change up at the top, and then we'll talk about the other stuff.
All right. Yep. So this every other week, it will be this type of show where it's me and Adelia talking about life and whatever topics we want to talk about, having fun, joking around every other week. The other 2 weeks of the month is going to be me talking to anyone and everyone in long form conversations about their life, their loves, and what they see and everything. So it's going to be a mix of interview show with long form conversation show with Adelia. So there's going to be a little mix of everything for everyone, So 1 week I'm gonna be interviewing somebody, then the following week is gonna be me and Adelia. It's gonna be an interview, then me and Adelia. That's how it's gonna be. Straightforward, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I think this will be better for me overall. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the most important thing here.
Absolutely.
So Ferris, what do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, Adelia, man, it's the summer of soccer, Adelia.
It is.
It is the summer of soccer. It's going on. It's big, man. We got Euros. We got Copa America starting. We got NWSL. We got that so-called MLS. And then we got the USL, baby. You know what I mean? So it's just summer of soccer. Soccer all around. The Euros have shown the pure essence of soccer. No tactics.
The Euros are so much fun.
Yeah. No tactics, just running and gunning, bangers of goals, unless you're watching England or France, which you get no goals at all. Been massive.
They've not been good. The two of the big favorites for this tournament, I think you could say, and they have not been good at all.
Personally, I want a final of Romania versus Turkey.
That'd be fun.
That would be amazing. Turkey, my bad. Yes, Turkey. But Copa America started. I saw a tweet that I got to read to you because that should have me dying of laughter.
Okay, well, will you talk about that? I'll talk about the fact that it's been really cool seeing all the fans at the Euros. That's been a lot of fun. The Fox coverage of the Euros has been utter shit, but yes. the games and the fans in Germany look like they're having a blast. I have really enjoyed a lot of the games. I didn't enjoy some of the games today quite so much because they were boring as shit, but that's down to bad refereeing and not good offense.
Yeah, here it is. The Euro is like watching a really talented and fun hip-hop dance competition, fast-paced, highly skilled. The Copa is like watching a knife fight outside a club at 3 a.m. Not as artful, but they do know how to handle that knife. Not like you turning away either.
That's appropriate. That's
appropriate. Because I was watching Chile versus Peru, and it was pure mayhem today. It was boring. It was boring in a sense that like there wasn't a lot of goals, there wasn't a lot of skill. But these are two countries who hate each other's guts, and they just went pounding on each other. Hard tackles, aggressiveness, not being stopped. It was just amazing. It was pure unmitigated amazingness. And then Canada went after Argentina. Like they weren't scared. They hit
Canada
Messi.
Played great in that game.
Yeah. The Canada hit Messi. One of the Canadians like cleated him. He's like, I don't care that you lean on Messi. He got cleated. Alexis McAllister got taken out. They took out Alexis McAllister. Like Maxime Crepeau just takes out Alexis McAllister, and McAllister's like on the ground, like grabbing in pain, like, yo, what's up with this? You know what I mean? And it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. And yeah, I don't think the entire Euro has been skillful and fast paced. They're only fast paced because they're always running, but it hasn't been very skillful. Like if we're talking like Turkey versus Georgia, yeah. But if we're talking about like the Netherlands versus France, nah.
Yeah.
Nah. And that's a wild statement to say, Adelia, right? Netherlands versus France. But Turkey versus Georgia? Turkey versus Georgia? It's like, yeah. Romania picking apart Ukraine? That was amazing. That was fun. Cool. Yeah, but watching the two England games has not been fun.
Croatia versus Albania was really good.
Yeah, the Balkan rivalries, man. The Balkan countries, man. Yeah, man. They hate each other so much.
They do, yeah.
It's great to see till it gets violent, but it's great to see. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's great to see.
Yeah.
Like they're also snitching on each other. They're also snitching at each other. It's like, hey, they're doing something bad over there. So Serbia snitched on Croatia. Croatia snitched out on Albania. Albania snitched out Serbia. They've been fines. They've been investigations. It is like, yo, man, I love this. I love all of this.
Paris. There is nothing quite like the drama of a soccer tournament.
Absolutely, because it stops being about soccer real quick. It's like, what? We're at a soccer tournament? I thought we were at a nationalist rally. No, they're playing soccer. Oh, my bad. It's insane, Adelia. It's pure, unmitigated insanity. And I love everything. Imagine if Kosovo made it.
That would be mayhem. Utter mayhem.
In Bosnia. Like, imagine the Balkans just all made it to the Euros. Bosnia, Kosovo, you name it, man. It's just all like the entire Balkans flocking on Germany. Germany be like, oh, God. We need more police presence. This is going to be crazy. It's like, yes. And oh, my God. Oh, I love soccer, Adelia.
I do too.
Love it, man. Like soccer, soccer and baseball, right? Those are my first two loves, right? I love them.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a team because I loved the sport overall. Like I can't just pick a team. I gotta enjoy everything. Man. you know. So I never really had a team. Like growing up in soccer, let's talk about our soccer journeys, Adelia. I want to talk about our soccer journeys. So growing up, let me show you mine. I didn't know there were leagues, right? I would watch, because watching soccer back in the day wasn't easy in America. People thought it was easy, but it wasn't. You know what I mean?
It was not easy at all.
Yeah. A lot of people had to like watch YouTube clips or like online feeds or some stuff. And man, I know I'm maybe 85 years old in some people's eyes. You know what I mean? Which is perfectly fine. But I was like 8 and 6 and 7. You know what I mean? Like I was a young kid. So I didn't know how to get the games, you know? And like when I would turn on ESPN, which, it's ESPN, right? And it's like, we're the worldwide leader in sports, but they didn't show soccer. So I couldn't watch soccer growing up. But I knew about soccer through my cousins and my family. And I didn't know leagues. I didn't know about La Liga. I didn't know about La Liga. There was no such thing as La Liga. I didn't know about the English Premier League series. I knew about Serie A. The Serie A was like Serie A, like everyone knew about Serie A because it was the top league back in the day. People, how magically people forget. I knew Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and AC Milan. That's it. I didn't know that Man United was in the league. I didn't know. I thought Spain, they only played Barcelona, and Real Madrid only played like each other. That's it. Every other week they're always playing each other, even though they only play each other like probably a max of 4 times, 6 times, because of Champions League and La Liga. La Liga they play twice, once in Copa del Rey. Depending on if they make the final, and if it's in a group stage game, possibly 1 or 2 times in Copa del Rey. Then you have Supercopa de España one or 2 times. Then you have Champions League 1 or 2 times, right? So it's like 6 times. And then England, all I knew about was Man United because of my cousin, massive Man United fan. That's why I hate them. It's because of my cousin. That's why also I hate the Philadelphia Eagles, because of him as well. I hate my cousin. I just want for that Valerie. So I didn't know about the English Premier League. Didn't know that. They didn't know it was a thing. And then my family are big Barcelona people. We went to the Barcelona Arsenal game in LA last summer. I hope to go to another one. I think they play Man United in LA. I think they do. Yeah, I think that's the LA game. Yeah. Shout out to the Cronkies. So I didn't know about Arsenal yet, but there was a player on Barcelona that I really liked. His name was Thierry Henry. I assumed Thierry Henry had been on Barcelona for years. Incorrect. Didn't know that. No. And then I was like, yo, I like Thierry. Thierry's a cool guy. He seems pretty cool. Va va voom. He went to MLS. He played for the Red Bulls. The old clips. But then like they would show highlights of Thierry not wearing a Barcelona jersey. I'm like, what's that weird looking jersey? That weird red colored jersey he's wearing. What is that? I had flicking a ball, kicking it sideways, and running down the sideline. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what is this? Where's Leo Messi? You know what I mean? Where's Iniesta? Where's Xavi? Like, why are you showing me these clips? Like, what is this Thierry Henry?
You missed all the good Thierry Henry.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what is this? Like, what is this Thierry Henry? Like, this isn't Barcelona. Why is that? Like, why are they playing in because Highbury, it's a legendary stadium, but it's not like the Camp Nou where it's massive.
No,
the Camp Nou is like gargantuan. So I would watch Thierry at the Camp Nou, and I'm like, that's a stadium. And I'm watching these highlights of Thierry Henry playing in I assumed it was like a rec league stadium. I was like, what is this? What is this?
Rec league stadium.
I was like, what is this? No disrespect. I have respect for it now. But this is like 10-year-old Ferris.
Yeah.
10-year-old Ferris was a little disrespectful.
That's 10-year-old Ferris's idea of what a rec league stadium.
Yeah. No, because compared to the Camp Nou, I'm like, what a downgrade. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? Is this like his early years? Like when he was 18? No, it wasn't.
No.
It was when
the majority of his career.
Exactly. And I'm like, what is this Arsenal? What is this? And then I found out this dude named Arsene Wenger. And I'm like, Arsene Wenger? Did this man name a team after him?
He was the most aptly named manager that Arsenal could have possibly ever had.
Yeah, like exactly. It's like Arsene Wenger managed Arsenal. And you're like,
Shout out, Brennan. Hey, Brennan, how's it going?
It also goes to like when I thought Martha's Vineyard was owned by Martha Stewart. I mean, because I assumed she was really rich because she was always on. Because I assumed like someone was being on TV a lot and selling like. I thought she was really rich, so I'm like she probably bought like a patch of land and called it Martha's Vineyard. You know what I mean? So it's like that's Martha's Vineyard. That's Martha Stewart's Vineyard.
Okay, so now we know how Ferris's mind worked when he was a child. Okay.
So I'm like, what is this Arsenal? What is this? So I investigated Arsenal a bit. I hadn't become a full Gooner yet. I was Gooner light. Like,
Gooner adjacent.
Gooner adjacent. Because of Thierry. I was like, yo, what is this? And then I found this dude, Thierry's teammate, that is my favorite Arsenal player of all time. This 6'4" dude wears the number 4 that has Vicks in the middle of his chest. Just running, gliding gracefully, and then with power. And I'm like, who is this man doing this at 6'4"? That's a center back. And it's like, no, that's a midfielder. And I'm like, no, that's not no midfielder. My midfielders are 6'1" and are named Xavi and Iniesta. They're small. That's a midfielder. This is not no midfielder.
I love how you said 6'1" and then said Xavi and Iniesta.
Yeah.
I don't think either of them are that tall.
No, I don't think so. Hold on. Let me double check.
All right. Well, you double checking that. I'll start my soccer journey here. I became a fan during the 2005, 2006. yeah, 5'7". I was gonna say they're not that tall, Ferris.
I was like, that's a midfielder. They're my height. Midfielders are my height. You know what I mean? They're 5'7", 5'8". They're not 6'4". And I'm like, who is this man? They're like, oh, that's Patrick Vieira. I'm like,
Patrick Vieira.
I was like, well, Patrick, my man. And you know, then don't even get me started on the Iceman. Don't even get me started on the Iceman, Adelia. The Iceman was smooth. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. The Iceman. Oh my God. He once had the best goal in the Premier League, Adelia. Mm-hmm. He won the 1, the 2, and the 3 spots. Yeah. 1 month. 1 month. It was like
he was incredible. He was utterly incredible.
He predated Arsene. I found that out. He predates Arsene. Mm-hmm. Arsene was like, but I'm keeping you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, one of my favorite Arsenal people, period, is Uncle Ian. Uncle Ian is the man.
Ian's great.
Ian Wright. And then Ian Wright's on the Graham Norton show talking about, because Ian also predates Arsene. And he was there. It was him and Bergkamp were there during the shift, right? And Arsene brought the nutrition and the way because Arsenal was kind of a little
old school.
A little old school, kind of run and gun. You can be late and have some fun, and it's fine about that. But Arsene,
disciplined.
Yeah, it wasn't very disciplined. But Arsene changed it, and and he tells a story of Dennis Bergkamp, where Dennis Bergkamp, Arsene said, "This is what we do," and Bergkamp was the first one to like completely adhere to it. Like Arsene Wenger said, "You're gonna drink a quarter pint of water. You're gonna drink a quarter pint of water." You know what I mean? Some people be like a pint of water, or a pint, a quarter and a pint, and you're like, "That's what I drink." Oh, you do this to the tea. And Dennis was like, "Boom, boom, no tea, Adelia. You couldn't drink tea."
No.
So Ian Wright,
that's tough for an Englishman.
Yeah, Ian Wright, being the rock and roll rock star himself, sneaks in tea bags. How rock and roll. And he's he's roommates with Dennis, right? And he's about to drink some tea, and Dennis is like, "So Ian, is that tea?" It's like, yeah, it's tea. Yeah. But, the gaffer said we can't have tea. It's like, yeah, it's fine. It's just tea. Oh, okay, fine. It's cool. So when we need you the most, you're going to let us down because you're letting us down right now. And Ian's like, bro, Dennis, it's tea. No, it's not. Ian doesn't have the tea. They end up winning the league. Arsene Wenger is right in the end, as always. So shout out to Arsene Wenger. The
Yeah.
guy who created Arsenal because he named it after himself. So I became Gunnar adjacent for many years, Adelia, and then as a big fan of, I was a massive fan of international soccer, Adelia. So I followed the international game. I knew about my little brother, Brazilian national team. That's all he cares about. My older brother, Spain national team. So he had a solid 4 years of greatness for himself. My older brother. No, 4.
Yeah, but it didn't end technically until the 2014 World Cup. So 6.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. All right, that's a good point. So for 6 years, my older brother was happy. And I kind of don't like seeing my older brother happy in the sports realm. It kind of annoys me. But me, I didn't have an international team. I followed international football. That's why for years, I've been telling people for years, South Americans don't play friendlies. There's no such thing as a friendly in South America. I mean, they friendly. What is that? You know what I mean? It makes no sense, because watching Brazil in friendlies take games seriously, and you're like, yeah, it's not friendly to them. They're here to kill you. My little brother fell in love with them. He's still a big fan of the Brazilian national team, which is amazing to see. In international football, damn, what was my point? I don't remember what my point was. I don't remember what my point was. I don't know. I don't remember what my point was.
Okay.
Yeah. First World Cup I ever watched was 2010, by the way. Yeah. But
First World Cup I watched was 2006 in Germany. Yeah. So I was watching live when Zinedine Zidane headbutted Marco Materazzi.
Yeah.
Got himself red carded in the World Cup final, and I was like, "What just happened?"
Here's the thing, though. You know how wild that moment was? It reverberated around like the Arab world because Zinedine Zidane is Algerian. He's French. I want to point that out. He's a Frenchman, but he's Algerian.
He has Algerian descent.
Of Algerian descent. Because the French national team they get let out of a lot of shtick about like how they're not really French, but they're French. They're Frenchmen. All of them. They're all Frenchmen. Yeah, man. My Arabs that I didn't even follow soccer were like, yeah, man, I saw that. And I knew about that. I never knew what World Cup it was. I never knew it was the 06 World Cup. I never knew. And I didn't even know it was in the final. I just knew that moment happened. You know what I mean? I knew that moment happened. Great story about watching the 2010 World Cup, Adelia. So that was the day I became a U.S. men's national team fan. For better or for worse. That's what I am, basically. It's mostly for the worst, to be quite frankly. Thank God the women exist, because if I only followed the men, I would be an utter mess. It's Algeria. I'm watching the Algeria game because Algeria was in the U.S. England group. I think that's the same year that Rob Green doesn't save Clint Dempsey's strike, and it trickles in.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So shout out to Rob Green. Shout out to Deuce. Love Deuce. Deuce is amazing. And the famous U.S. 1-1. The U.S. win.
Yeah.
Which, you know what?
Kind of was a victory.
At the moment, it was a victory. But I'm watching the Algeria game, and my mom walks into the living room, and she's like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "I'm watching, the World Cup, Mama. It's Kura Telgedem, soccer." She's like, "Oh, Kura Telgedem." And she sits down next to me, and all I hear is like, "Go Algeria!" She's like, Jazidine, the Algerians, the Jazidine, I'm rooting for them. The Arabs. I'm like, then that's the moment you find out your mother is actually a person who has her own thoughts and her own things and learned her own stuff, and you're like, how do you know this? and then we all know what happens. I think the 95th minute, good old Landon Donovan off of the rebound scores the goal, and I scream my head off. I say, "Oh!" And it was an amazing World Cup. And seeing Spain and David Villa, they were it was great, tremendous ball. Diego Forlan, and what a player! What a player. I'm so mad about Ghana though. I'm not mad about Ghana because they're America's bitter rival, but I'm also mad. I'm also sad for Ghana because they get the penalty. Suarez gets kicked out. Handball, deliberate. And they shanked the penalty, man. Because they would, if they won that match, they would have been the first African country in the semifinal. But unfortunately, it became Morocco in 2022 when Morocco did it. You know, because Morocco could hit penalties. You know, so yeah. And then I became an Arsenal fan 3 years ago. Yeah. Shout out to that.
I became an Arsenal fan in 2006.
Is that when we got Ozil?
No, Mesut was. I don't remember exactly what year, but I want to say it was after the 2010 World Cup, or maybe it was right around the 2010 World Cup.
Fabrizio Romano has ruined world transfers forever.
I mean, somebody else would do it if it wasn't Fabrizio.
Yeah. But the Mesut Ozil transfer would never have happened. It would have been like Fabrizio would have been like, oh yeah, Mesut Ozil going to Arsenal like 4 months.
That was a transfer deadline day deal.
Yeah.
So
he may have. Oh, that's a good point.
Who knows?
That's a good point. Continue, Adelia. Your soccer journey.
I became an Arsenal fan in 2006. They were in the Champions League. They had a really great run to the final that year, and when the final happened, they lost, and it was the first time I had ever wanted more of something that hurt so much. I'd been a fan for all of like a month, and I cried, and that's when I knew I'd found my team, because something about that team, that 2006 team, touched me emotionally in a way that nothing had in a really long time. So that's my team. Arsenal's my team. I've watched or listened to on the radio every Arsenal game since. I have a tattoo on my leg that says Victoria Concordia Crescit, which is the Arsenal team motto. It means victory through harmony. If you want more details on all of this, I did write a piece for our website, letsgetreadynetwork.com, about the journey and everything and how much Arsenal means to me. So that you can find there. But it's such a phenomenal sport. I used to play it when I was a little kid. Like, I didn't realize that, like, there were teams in other countries. I didn't realize that there were professionals at this. You know, it's a game you play when you're, like, 8. You know, like, I didn't know any of it. That I really started to realize that there was more to soccer than that with the 99ers, the 99 Women's World Cup winning team that the U.S. had. And I found Arsenal, and it's all I think about sometimes is the sport of soccer and the games and the teams and the people that play for the teams. And I love the tournaments so much, and that's why I love the summer of soccer with the Euros and the Copa America. 2 years, the World Cup's going to be here in the States, so that's going to be amazing. So yeah, it's a beautiful sport. It's the most beautiful sport in the world, in my opinion.
Take me through the international journey. You said you like the 99ers. You know, well, hit me. What were your emotions around them and overall the U.S. women's national team?
The 1999 World Cup was the summer right after I turned 17. So I watched every U.S. game, and I remember watching that final against China from the Rose Bowl, and it going to penalties and being so like tense and nervous. And Brandi Chastain hits that winning penalty and rips her shirt off and drops to her knees and just wearing her sports bra. And then that was the picture that was everywhere. Every newspaper, every Sports Illustrated, front of ESPN.com. They were superstars after that, and rightfully so. And the women's game is fun to watch. I mean, it's really fun to watch. There's some very skilled players there. They can get stuck in and get, nasty tackles and play hard. And it's just, I wish more people would appreciate how great the women's game is. Because the men get all the money and all the accolades and all the notoriety and everything, and then the women don't. But they're starting to. But they deserve all the attention. And everybody should watch the Olympics this summer. The women's team, the full national team, is going to be playing in the Olympics. The men send the under 23s, so it's a little different. But the women send their full national teams. It's going to be fantastic, the Olympic soccer tournament this summer.
Adelia, I know you're from Colorado. Big Colorado contingent on the team. What are your feelings about that? And how do you watch NWSL and
I watch NWSL when I can. I don't have an NWSL team because there isn't one in Colorado. I'm from Denver originally. That's my sports teams. I wish they'd put an NWSL team in Denver. I think that'd be really cool. The only stadium I've ever been to witness a game in person is the Colorado Rapids Stadium, Dick's Sporting Goods Park. I was lucky enough to get to watch Arsenal play the Rapids, which was the last game I've been to, and that meant the absolute world to me. But at the night that they went and saw Arsenal play the Rapids, they actually honored a few of the members of the U.S. women's national team that had just won the World Cup in France that were from Colorado. The governor was there. They made a whole big deal out of it. And it was really cool. And I think it's awesome that there's some Colorado sports representation on the international scene that aren't like skiers and snowboarders, because that's what we're normally known for.
Yeah, big Highlands Ranch's own Mal Swanson. A Windsor's own.
Hey, Garnet, thank you.
Sophia Smith. I know Lindsay Horan is from there.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where Lindsay Horan's from, but yeah.
Well, dear, let's get you an NWSL team.
Yeah, we should.
Let's go through the teams and let's pick one. How about we do it right now?
I mean, I don't know about right now, but
why not? Let's bring up 3. All right.
Okay.
I'll bring up
not Utah.
Not Utah.
Not Kansas City.
All right, fine. Okay, we just eliminated 2 teams right there.
Yeah.
So the Utah Royals are out. Utah Royals dead.
Much appreciation to those teams, but no.
The Kansas City Current. What's funny is that the Utah is not the old Utah Royals.
Kansas City it used to be the Utah Royals. Yeah.
So good. So Kansas City gone. Current are gone. Royals are gone. So that reduces a bunch of teams. Let's start off with your Colorado peoples. We have Sophia Smith in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
We got Mal Swanson in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. See, here's the thing about why I said not right now with the teams is I have to watch and I have to fall in love with the team over a course of time. I don't just pick a team and that's my team,
Yeah. Do you you ever thought about that, like that geographical connection? Like people are fans because it's geographically right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you think that should be a way of picking teams, or should you watch the teams and fall in love with a team?
I think you should watch the teams and fall in love with the team. I just happened to fall in love with the Denver sports teams when I was younger because they were the ones that were on TV the most. But the soccer team that I first fell in love with really was the Colorado Rapids. The summer before I graduated high school, I would just go down to the basement and turn on the TV, and there was the Rapids games, and I fell in love with players like Chris Henderson and Paul Bravo. And like, I don't remember why I remember their names, but we're 24 years later and I still remember their names, So they made some sort of an impression on me.
There is a USL team in Colorado. The Colorado Switchbacks. They beat the Oakland Roots.
There's also the Northern Colorado Hailstorm, I believe. Yeah,
but I think they're not USL or NWS. I think they're like the other league. I think they're in the same.
I'm pretty sure they're in the USL.
Right.
They might not be in the. They might not be in the top of the USL.
There's only one women's USL league. It's the USLW league.
I'm not sure. I'm not talking about the women's team. I'm talking about the men's team.
Well, the men's team is in the USL top division. You're right.
Yeah.
Because they played us. We're in the top division, and they beat us at home, which I'm kind of mad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually watched that game live. We lost. Very upset.
It sucks when you go to a game and your team loses.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We did beat the El Paso Locomotive on this past Wednesday.
I love the names of USL teams, by the way. Way better than the names of the MLS teams.
Let me ask you, Adelia. All right, should MLS make these teams more American in a sense where, like, it's like the Denver Broncos, right? Should they do that? And should they use the word
Well,
SC instead of
lem-
FC?
I don't care about the FC or SC thing. That doesn't matter to me. The Arsenal, the Colorado Rapids are owned by Stan Kroenke, who also owns Arsenal. And there was a time when the Rapids rebranded from their blue and black original color scheme to the color scheme they have now, which is like a burgundy and a light blue, that they were thinking of changing the name of the team to Arsenal Colorado. And I am so glad, even though I'm an Arsenal fan, so glad they didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. So their old jerseys were a black and blue?
Black and blue stripes. The more like Inter like colors.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess I missed that generation because I've only known Colorado's the burgundies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Yeah, but what do you think? Should they make those clubs more American? You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's really stupid that the team in Salt Lake is known as Real Salt Lake.
yeah.
I think it's really dumb that the team in Miami is Inter Miami because it sounds like Inter Milan.
Yeah. Like, I'm not a big fan of
It's really dumb that they tried to associate teams with certain teams over in Europe or in Mexico or wherever, because we used to have Chivas USA and all of this. I think it's really dumb that they did that instead of allowing these teams to create their own identities and grow that organically.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to co-opt fans from another team.
Yeah. Well, Chivas USA was operated and owned by Chivas.
I know, but I still thought it was dumb that they called them Chivas USA. I think that team is so much better off now as LAFC.
Yeah. But fun fact, most of the fan base stayed and are now one of the best fan bases in the league.
Exactly.
Because they've created their own LAFC like identity,
Mm-hmm. They've created their own identity.
Yeah. I quite enjoy the MLS teams that are like the Seattle Sounders or the San Jose Earthquakes, the Colorado Rapids. You know what I mean?
Yes, Jake, I know we co-opt shit. That's part of what Americans do. But it's annoying that the MLS did it with like everybody.
The Houston Dynamo. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then don't even get me started on the Red Bull family. That shit's just annoying.
I mean,
they
name all their teams after Red Bull, so you shouldn't be surprised. It was so much better when it was the Metro Stars. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, right? Their jerseys were better too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have the longest active streak of MLS teams to make the playoffs. Every MLS team that's ever existed has missed the playoffs at least once, except the New York Red Bulls. They've always made the playoffs. They almost missed it last year too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Adelia, what's your favorite international moment, soccer-wise, that you watched? Because international soccer, 2-0 in the O2 World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
You watched that live?
I did watch that game. Yeah.
Oh my! Tell me, Adelia. Tell me.
I was awake. There was nothing on television. I didn't really know all that much about soccer as far as club teams at that point, but I knew international teams existed because of the 99ers and the Women's World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 2002. The World Cup was going on. It was the middle of the night. And I was like, oh, the U.S. is playing. Let me watch this. And we beat Mexico, and it was great.
I can't believe you watched that live. I'm so jealous of you.
I've watched a lot of stuff in the middle of the night live that you probably wouldn't. I probably don't even remember that I watched it live until it get brought up, and I was like, oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Oh
my God, that's one of the. Eric Ronaldo told a story about that. Where Bruce Arena changed up the way they played for that game, and it caught Mexico off guard, and they beat them. They beat them 2-0, and it's like, they can. We'll always have that. We've never faced each other ever in the World Cup ever again, but hey, man, that one time we faced in the World Cup, we beat you 2-0.
Yep.
We beat you 2-0.
Yeah. Jake saying LMAO, the New York Red Bulls. Come on now. I mean, they're owned by Red Bull. At least it's better than Red Bull New York. Like we have Red Bull Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg.
And Red Bull Bergantino.
Yeah, and Jake saying he's only really watched the women's team as far as the U.S. go. The women's team has historically been much better than the men's team, but I think the men's team has a good generation now. they could do some stuff.
For years, the women's team always had the trophies on them, but like for years, I always thought the U.S. men's team like represented America in a sense because they were the more diverse team. You know what I mean? Like when you look at the the 99s team, like they're all great players, right? But most of them were like it was one black woman, Brianna Scurry.
It was mostly white women.
It was mostly white women, yeah. And then at one point in the mid 2000s, I think it was like a couple of months they forgot, like they didn't call up Shannon Box or they didn't play Shannon Box. Everyone on the team was white women. Like but with the men's team, since the dawn of its existence, has always been ethnically diverse.
Yeah.
And then Adelia, did you watch the $1 million goal?
The documentary series?
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, Adelia, you should. It's amazing. So like, it's the entire team is just from ethnic backgrounds of America, right? And it's specifically a small section in New Jersey called Kearney, where Tab Ramos is from. Tab Ramos. He and then Tony Miola was from there as well, and like 3 other teammates were from there. So it was like 5 men from Kearney, New Jersey, who helped save U.S. men's soccer. Well, save U.S. soccer period, because the women hadn't existed yet. So save U.S. soccer period. Yeah. And it was everybody from every background known to man, and I'm like, that's America right there. That's America. And then every year, we got into the late 90s, we started integrating, more, we had more black players, DeMarcus Beasley, Eddie Pope, you know what I mean? And then we get into the 2000s. Gucci Onyewu in the early 2000s. Shout out to Gucci. Mo Adu, Mo Adu and Freddie Adu. There's Edu and Adu. Don't get those mixed up. Shout out to Mo Adu, American soccer television royalty, by the way. Shout out to you,
he
Mo.
is, he's one of the best.
Exactly.
Jake saying he did watch USA versus England at the World Cup in like 2010 or whatever at an Applebee's and got hyped. That was a great game. We drew England at the World Cup.
Jake, fun fact about England US. England's never beaten the US at a World Cup ever.
Never have. Nope.
But we've beaten them to place 3rd in the first ever World Cup, by the way.
Yep. We did.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So like for years I was like, yeah, the women, they're winning the trophies and I'm proud of them, but like,
the men's team lacked so far behind in that regard for a long time, but I really do feel like this generation, they need a much better coach than who we have. A much better coach. But this generation of players we have now, like we just fielded a starting 11 against Colombia for the first time in team history with players who play for clubs in the top 5 leagues in the world. That's
who do
impressive.
You like, Adelia, of this current crop?
I really like Weston McKennie. I think he's very good. I really like Tyler Adams when he's not injured. I like Jedi. Jedi's good.
Jedi's good.
He does very well for Fulham, and he's doing good there. I like Flo. I'm always gonna like Flo though, because he's an Arsenal kid. But I just think that there's such a good group there, and they're all of a certain age, and we have the older players like Tim Ream and stuff, but we have a good young group. They just need the right coaching, and they don't have that right now. It's the same problem that England have right now with Gareth Southgate. That's what we have with Greg Berhalter, and nobody at US Soccer wants to see that. And I'm afraid that it's going to cost us a good result in the 2026 World Cup because of it.
So what happens when your brother's on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on all of that.
Greg Berhalter, unknown American hero, I was robbed of glory in the 2002 World Cup because Germany cheated while he was about to score a goal. Too bad we didn't have VAR or goal line technology at that moment.
Was that the Torsten Frings handball?
Berhalter was the one who kicked it. Yeah. So imagine
Jake saying Wrexham for the win. I agree with that. Wrexham's really cool story. Interesting to see how far they can rise in the divisions in England. I don't know that they can make it to the Premier League, but let's see how they do in League One next year, because that'll be good.
I did. So seeing them, right, makes me see how stupid some of these owners in MLS are, right?
Yeah.
And how, like, you know, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, they're rich. They're richer than me and you, right?
Yeah.
But they're not richer than some of these owners, because some of these owners are like,
no, they're not billionaire owners,
not
like
billionaires.
Lamar Hunt's family and all of them.
Exactly.
No.
So they spent $2 million on some non-league team, only $2 million. And
I appreciate your comments anyways, Jake. Thank you for chiming in.
Jake, we love conversation, man. Jake, it's the open table, man. Converse with us. Converse. Yeah. That's what we do, converse. They buy a team for $2 million. And they just slowly investing, you know, getting brand deals left and right, investing more in capital.
Getting the deal for Welcome to Wrexham, which is a very successful docuseries.
Exactly. You know, and they're signing better players with better salaries, and they're slowly creeping up through, you know, relegation and promotion. And now imagine you spend a $500 million expansion fee for a team. But you don't really own the team. You just own the naming rights. You know what I mean? That's what San Diego FC did.
Thank you for joining us, Jake. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the burgers.
Enjoy the burgers, man. Like, that's what San Diego FC did. They paid MLS $500 million for the name San Diego FC. Yeah. But imagine if those people continue with this part.
It's ridiculous that they pay all this money for these expansion fees, and then they just don't care if they're competitive or not. And like, I think that's the problem with not having promotion and relegation in MLS, is there's no incentive to get better. Like, you can get a high draft pick or whatever in the draft, which is another stupid thing to have in soccer. It makes no sense. But you can have a high draft pick, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the next year you're going to be any better. It's not somebody coming in that can turn a team completely around the way that can in the NFL or the NBA or whatever. But with the lack of promotion and relegation means there's no punishment for being bad. So some of these teams have just been historically bad for a really, really long time. Every once in a while, they'll get good. They'll do something. My Colorado Rapids are one of them. A very common nickname for them is the Crapids, because they usually suck. But, you know, every once in a while, they'll get a good group of players. They'll come through. They won an MLS Cup, and then now they're terrible again. And there's no incentive to get better, because there's no punishment if you don't, of being relegated to a different league, losing TV money, losing this, losing that. So that's why it's so interesting to me to see what they're doing over there in Wrexham, because they didn't have to invest a ton of money. They've chosen to invest a little bit more in improving the stadium and getting all these deals and things like that. But their goal is, we don't want to end up back in the National League. We want to keep rising through the ranks. And you can only do that in leagues where there's promotion or relegation. If they'd bought an MLS team, they'd just be there in perpetuity unless they shut the team down or sold the team.
Actually,
and it's just not it doesn't make good for good competitiveness, I don't think. Like, yeah, I'm way on my own on this, but I've always been a proponent that baseball would be way more interesting to me if at the end of the Major League Baseball season, the bottom 3 teams in the league got relegated to AAA and the top 3 teams in AAA got bumped up to Major League Baseball. It'd be so much more interesting, but they'll never do it because it's not the American sports model.
For years, you know what I called MLS?
What?
I called it America's version of communism.
I mean, they're not good for the sport of soccer in this country.
Yeah. So for years, when we would learn about communism, right, the governance of communism, it was like how it would breed complacency and laziness, and how why should we reward the person who's sitting on their ass the same amount as the person working, right? That's what communism was, right? But, you know, I don't think that's really what it was. It's communism. It's community. You govern by community. You need this, I need this, swap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I call it America's version of communism because that's what MLS is. You have teams who work hard to win MLS Cups who get the same slice of pie as the Crapids, alleged. You know what I mean? Or, you know, any other shitty Western Conference team. Because eight teams make the playoffs. So you can be mediocre. You know, make the playoffs. This regular season doesn't matter. So imagine if you're the LAFC and you're like, I'm winning MLS Cups, but me and the Crapids are having the same money. And like, what's up with this? There's revenue sharing.
Keep calling them the Crapids.
I apologize. That was a funny name, by the way. The Rapids.
It is, but yeah.
Rapids. I know how to. I think there's somebody worse than the Rapids this year.
Oh, the Rapids are actually, last I checked, not bottom of the table, which is good. But last year they were. I just think that like promotion and relegation is something
San Jose
introduced. San Jose.
They're trash.
San Jose is having a horrible season. Yeah.
No, that's the thing, Adelia. Continue.
I just think that like when there's no incentive to win or get better, you're right. It breeds complacency. Like there's just no reason for some of these owners to invest in their team or try to get better players or make a trade. And like it's hard to get people to come to like say Colorado because they play a mile high above sea level. Like it's hard to play there if you're not used to it. But nobody really wants to give some of these places. There's other places in the league, I'm sure, where players just don't want to get traded to. Don't want to. Yeah, San Jose. Don't want to go live. Don't want to do this. Don't want to do that. International players. They introduced designated players to get these, you know, older, aging players from Europe or around the world, to stars to come here and, you know, ooze Zlatan Ibrahimovic, David Beckham, you know, all these players come here. They don't want to go to Colorado. They don't want to play a mile above sea level. They want to be in one of the big cities. They want to be in LA. They want to be in New York. They want to be in Miami. You know, like there's a lot about MLS that makes absolutely no sense, and they do nothing to improve it. They just make it worse.
Denver seems like a cool city.
It's a great city, but like it's not a glitzy city. It's not a Chicago. It's not a New York. It's not a, you know.
Yeah, like honestly, man, like I get the mile high thing you say, but like your body then adjusts as a player. You'll adjust, and you're gonna be.
If you start playing at altitude every week and training at altitude all the time, and your body adjusts to it, you will actually be in better shape to go play at sea level than you would be otherwise. But like people don't want to do that. They go to Denver, they can't breathe because they're not used to the air, lack of oxygen in the air, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Honestly, man, I want to go to Denver, man. Like a trip.
We should go.
I should go to Denver. Yeah, we should go to Denver.
Yeah.
You know, catch a Rapids game.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's not do that.
No.
Because that probably lives. Damn. Well, the U.S. women's national team usually plays there.
They do. They've started playing at the Dick Sporting Goods Park.
You said it. I knew. I thought I was gonna be doing to say it, but you said it.
No, I said it. It's the Dick. Sorry. Name is stadium Dick Sporting Goods Park. It's gonna get nicknamed the Dick. I hate to tell you.
Yeah. Oh man. God, man, I love me some soccer, man. MLS, man. MLS is a parasite. It's
things
bad,
like
man.
what happened in Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago with Indy 11 and their stadium project, because MLS suddenly wants to maybe get a team into Indianapolis, so the USL team, their stadium deal is dead. Like stuff like that, it drives me nuts because they're just killing the lower leagues because they want to create their own lower leagues. They're trying to kill the grassroots game. The stuff with the US Open Cup and not wanting to send the MLS sides to it is atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
And US Soccer just lets them get away with it because they don't care either. They only care about MLS.
Brian McBride was on Kicking It this week, and he talked about how like when he got fired basically. They restructured and they got rid of his job. He was general manager of the U.S. men's national team, or the U.S. soccer, I think, period. Youth, men and women. And they restructured, and they said, oh, we're going to have a job for you, but then they end up never having a job for him because the budget didn't work. And he said straight out, he's like, yeah, man, they make decisions based on the business of soccer, not about the growth of it. They don't care. Basically, Bernard basically said they don't care.
Yeah, the U.S. women's team, who would win a World Cup, would have to split between them a bonus for winning the World Cup that was less than the men would get just for qualifying for the World Cup. Like, it's ridiculous, and it's not right. And the U.S. soccer is not great organization either. Let's put it that way.
No, it's not. Not at all. But you know what's great? What's a great organization?
What?
Me and you.
Yeah.
We're a great organization.
Are we an organization?
Are me and you not an organization?
I mean, organizations are businesses. Are we a business?
We're an organization of fun.
I mean, I'll take that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah. So yeah, we're an organization of fun. We're OOF.
No.
Okay. Oof. Oh.
Oof. Yeah. No.
Well, you know what? You find a better acronym then.
LGRN.
There it is. On that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us on this great Friday night on the open table. Adelia, I know I talk a lot, and I'm sorry. And I ramble.
You're good, Paris.
I'm sorry. But I enjoy talking to you. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Schizoaffective Adelia on Threads. I quit Twitter, so I'm still on there at Adelia Chambo, but all I do is retweet LGRN and Passion Fruit stuff. Speaking of Passion Fruit, I work at Passion Fruit with our good friends Video Drew and Nerd Chronic. And I wrote for the Passion Fruit Patreon a post about finding the Schmodown and how much it means to me. It's free on the Passion Fruit Patreon. It's Passion Fruit at patreon.com/passionfruit for us. If you want to check it out and read it, I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to throw a little support Passion Fruit's way while you're there, appreciate that too. Speaking of Patreon, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/LGR_network. $1 a month gets you into our Discord where you can hang out with us and talk about all kinds of nerdy stuff like soccer for an hour, like we just did basically. And
yeah. I guess that was the topic of the night was soccer.
It was soccer tonight, yeah. Life updates in soccer. That was the topics of the night.
Yeah.
You can also find me on the Rewatchers Council Thursdays, 3 p.m. Pacific on this channel. Starting 11 with Ferris doing some Euro coverage and Copa America coverage. So if you want to hear us talk about soccer some more, that's on the Highlights channel. Tuesdays, probably 3 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday. And back here on the open table, I'll be back in 2 weeks with Ferris, 8 p.m. Pacific. But tune in next week, 8 p.m. Pacific, because Ferris will be interviewing someone, hopefully. And yeah, we just did. Oh, by the way, we just did a review of the Federer 12 Final Days documentary about Roger Federer's last 12 days as a professional tennis player. It was fascinating. Ferris and I put that out today. So check that out here on the Entertainment Channel. Links to all the channels and the Patreon are in the description of this episode.
All right, perfect, guys. My name is Ferris. You can find me every Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific on our sports channel, Good Friends, Better Rivals. We took this week off, so there was no show. We talk American football. Me and Caleb, NFC East, Cowboys, Giants. Then every Friday, 8 o'clock Pacific, here, the open table. And then whenever LGR needs me, I pop up.
Are you going to be on After Snark this week, Ferris?
I will be on After Snark this week. We will be reviewing The Boys, episode 4.
And The Acolyte.
We'll do that both. We're doing both. My return is imminent because I haven't been on After Snark in like months. So why not?
Yeah.
I like The Boys. Boys are fun.
That's Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific.
Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific. There it is. Well, thank you so much. Hope everyone has a wonderful night. See you guys next time. Hit that thumbnail.